The records are now open. Welcome, everybody. Let me know if you are joining me live here on Instagram. It looks like I have a little bit of technical difficulty as we're getting rocking and rolling here. Just going to ask the guides to hold space for a powerful connection today. Welcome. Let me know once you get here. Say hello, whether you're joining me live or on the replay. It's the ever present now. And I would love to know who I am sharing space with up here in my sacred classroom. Welcome, everybody. I'm Emily Harrison, founder director here inside the Akashic Academy. The Akashic Academy is a modern day mystery school specializing in training in your Akashic records. And we're going to jam in our Akashic records for the next 30 minutes. What you can expect in this video if you are a newbie coming into this space, I'm going to channel for you wisdom, guidance, insight from the Akashic records, and also bring through a transmission and energetic activation that will help shift us on a cellular level. And all of this information is going to come in based on the questions that you ask. It's how the Akashic records work. We've got to ask questions, but let me explain just a little bit more if you are new here inside of this space. The Akashic records hold all intelligence, past, present, all possible futures, and are recorded from a neutral perspective. It's also known as the Book of Life, also known as universal consciousness. You can look at this as an etheric library of all of the intelligence in the universe, including everything that you have experienced or anything that you will experience or anything that you are experiencing right now. And yes, I hope you're getting cosmically activated and inspired to think about how cool. Oh, I realized I forgot to turn, hang on. I forgot to turn my beauty light on. Action and action. All right. Sorry, little ego got in the way there, everybody. Former Hollywood actress here. I got lots of beauty lights in my studio. All right. Let me tap back into what I was saying about the Akashic records. Oh, yes. I hope that you're feeling this inspiration to know more about this field of galactic intelligence. It is a powerful quantum tool. It's a spiritual technology that we can use in our everyday life. And a lot of people miss this. So it's one of the reasons that I do this show, because I want to bring that galactic epic story down into a context that's meaningful for us. Not only meaningful, but honestly, life-changing for us here as we're moving through, growing and expanding and evolving in our lives as humans, which basically looks like tripping and falling during our challenges and then figuring out what we need to do differently. That's evolution, right? But the Akashic records are such a powerful tool because they allow us to see and understand the patterns that are playing out in our life that are causing us to experience replicated reality, is what the guides are saying right now. What is replicated reality? Well, it's the issues that you spin through over and over and over again. They're also the themes or the lessons that you've agreed to take on in this incarnation to learn from. But the problem is when we come into incarnation as humans right now on the planet, we are still experiencing the veil of forgetting, the vast majority of us, right? And so we forget that we not only have chosen all of these things, but we have also programmed ourselves, we've encoded ourselves with intelligence and connection to source energy that we can access within us that helps us step into our power and realize ourselves as the powerful beings that we are. But it looks like going through our challenges, and they get pretty damn frustrating after a while. Anybody got a challenge that you're damn frustrated with? So this is where the Akashic records come in handy, because if the Akashic records have already recorded all possibilities, all information, everything that's happening from a neutral perspective, we can tap into the Akash. We can go, WTF, like what's going on here? And then we get the revelation. And that's what I'm excited to share with you all today, are the perspectives that I get tapping into your Akashic records. It's important to know that everybody can do this, and everybody's information is going to be a little bit different that they get because your perspective is unique. And the guides are going to communicate with you. And excuse me one second, my Instagram, I'm just trying to get my camera a little straighter there. The guides are going to communicate with you based on your experience. So it's actually really cool when we live in a society where everyone can read their Akashic records, because we're all going to get different pieces of the information. So one of the reasons that the Akashic records are coming online right now, meaning they're coming into your field, you're drawn into spaces like this, you're seeing other things about the Akashic records, because they are a tool that are reappearing in your awareness to help you right now. So we're going to get rocking and rolling. Trisha, I see you. I love you, sister. I'm definitely going to get into your question first. All right. I want you guys to light up my chat box here with questions. Here's how we're going to jam. I'm going to ask Spirit to bring my awareness to the questions that will benefit the most of us here today. Even if I don't answer your specific, take two. Hang on, let me sip my water. Even if I don't answer your question specifically, the answer is going to come in for you. The beckoning, the invocation to truly understand yourself. This is seeking self-knowledge. The universe does not deny you. The universe might smack your ass upside the head, but the universe is not going to deny you. The universe might smack your ass upside the head with the intelligence and you still might ignore it, but the universe is not going to deny you. So perhaps through another question that I answer or channel information through from today, I might have had too many prepositions there. You might not be following me. Hang on a second. Your answer might come through via someone else's question. Excellent, Emily. Also, that can happen for you too, even if you don't ask any questions. You might just be fly on the wall in this space today. Some of you all do that. You may be flying on the wall in here today, and somebody asks a question that feels like it speaks to your soul, it speaks into you, something shifts inside of you. That is your guides, your Akashic records talking to you, and that internal energy that you feel is the activation. All right, let's rock and roll. I'm so happy that we have so many of you here today. All right, so Trisha, you and your daughter have been going through massive health challenges and up levels. Okay. I wanted to take away my daughter's cancer so badly that I actually manifested it. What do I do now? Whew. All right. Thank you, Trisha. I love you. First of all, everybody give some love like hearts, round of applause for Trisha. Trisha is a soul who is working on a very masterful level in this lifetime when it comes to the challenges that we feel. She and her family are working at a very, very bravely. All right, Trisha, the first thing that the guides want to speak about your daughter is that, and this makes more sense too, sharing what you just shared, but what she's doing is she's breaking generational curses in your family. And she is turning on adaptogens and antivenom, we could almost call it, within her body to not only heal her body of the dis-ease of energy that's within her body, but it's also evolving her cells in a way that humanity needs this evolution. Okay. Oh, okay. This is cool. Okay. So she's working on generation from the two of you forward. You're working on generation back. Yes, you could look at it as you wanted to take away her cancer so badly that you manifested it for yourself. But we could also look at this as you are going to hold her hand through a process. Maybe we could even look at it as she's given you the strength now to do this process. She's going to say, look, Mom, I've activated it in the genetics now. You see me like slowing down my cadence and shaking my head. Yes, that's another thing that's happening now too. And the guides are saying that she's actually going to take away your cancer, Mama. Beautiful. Okay, here's the other thing. Interesting that they're precancerous, which means the developmental stage until they progressed into what doctors would categorize as a full-blown cancer was mitigated, and it was stopped. So congratulations. Everybody, please give another round for Trisha and her daughter, who are working on behalf of the entire collective healing. Who else out there is working on physical healing of the body in some area? That's area is what I said. I just said it with a little bit of a weird accent there. Healing in some area. Maybe it was more intentional than I realized. Maybe you were healing an era. I mean, you could argue that we're all healing the era of humanity right now, or you could also, I think a lot of people are working with ancestral energy and trauma and clearing right now. Era, I love you so much too, Trisha. Thank you for being here and letting us all support you, hold space for you, and learn along with you. All right, let's see what activation wants to come in there. Yes, this is for everybody who's experiencing areas where we want to call in physical healing. I want you to feel all four corners of your feet on the floor. Tuck the tailbone, chin under, elongate the spine, lay the palms up in a receptive position, and call forth now your perfect genetic blueprint of DNA, activating in all cells, forward and backward through time. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Okay. For this to stick and work, it's important that you are aware of your shit that rises up. This means you pay attention to where you get triggered next, who you get mad at next. Could be yourself, could be your finances. I see finances coming up here. I like to dive into finances with you all because this is a code I have cracked and learning to crack even more. And we all have this ability. Bring y'all into the club. Okay. We'll get to finances. But the area where you are having dense negative thoughts, repetitive thoughts, stressful thoughts, all of this stuff, it's going to come up in your field. And if you're not aware enough, what's going to happen is you're going to feel like, oh, here we go again. And all the same old shit is going to get triggered for you, from your thoughts to your emotions to your behaviors. Your job is to recognize, oh yeah, I cleared this on Wednesday. I shooed it out of my energy field like a stinky fart. I don't like farting, y'all. I have a thing about it. All right. You're going to remember you shooed this out of your field and that you're no longer showing up to participate in this. And then you're going to realize that these thoughts and these patterns are just inviting you to say, no, thank you. And that's when you embody the lesson, but you could miss it. And that's okay if you miss it, because you just get a chance to do it again and again and again and again. All right, cool. For those of all of you that are claiming that healing, type yes in the comments for me right now. All right, are you liking today? I'm feeling the energy today. Let's grab another question. Hey, Instagram, I don't see any of you guys lighting up my chat box with questions yet. So I would love some questions from you, Instagram. Let me tap in back here to StreamYard. Intuition Matters Unveiled. Your question: what do I need to do to allow money to flow in? It makes no sense that I am not thriving. Okay. So first thing that the guides are saying is, if you're not thriving right now, we're going to flip it. I want you to close your eyes and say, it makes perfect sense that I'm not thriving right now because, and there's something on the other side of that. Okay. Your brain's job is to find the answers to questions that you ask. Okay. If we think about ourselves that we're not thriving, if we create a story that we're not thriving, then what our brain does is it looks for evidence to reinforce that story. So one thing you could do is completely flip the metaphor again, or I should say the statement again, and say, it's amazing that I'm thriving. Find some I am mantra statements. It's amazing that I'm thriving. Why is it so easy for me to thrive? All right. I flip that a lot for myself too. Why is it so easy for me to XYZ fill in the blank with what I want to manifest? But here's I might have lost y'all there. Hang on one second. Did I lose you on techie challenges? Okay, hopefully we're back. Lots of bandwidth moving today, or I should say lots of frequency moving. I need the bandwidth to hold it. So that's tapped into a really great stream of intelligence there for us. Let me just dive back into that. Yes, okay. So oftentimes when I'm manifesting, I will use very specific languaging. Why is it so easy for me to XYZ fill in the blank? Here's the problem with that though. If there is a part of you that is not in coherence or in alignment with why is it so easy for me to manifest whatever it is you want to manifest, which part of you is not going to be in alignment with it yet, otherwise you would have it. Generally, there's a part of our identity that's not fully on board with either believing that we're worth it or believing that we're safe to have it. Okay, and that shit clogs up the pipelines when it comes to the energetic vibration that we're putting out when it comes to manifesting. So if you have a subconscious incongruence within you, it's not going to work just to flip the statement and say, I am thriving. Or it's going to work slowly. I'll say that. But here's what we can do. Let me go back to the question because I want to get the exact wording that the guides want. So we want to take that statement, it makes no sense that I am not thriving. And of course, you feel like you're in confusion. I felt like I've been in confusion before too around my finances. Anybody else feel like you're in confusion around why you can't figure this out? It makes no sense why I'm not thriving. The real problem there is that there's a block of information. And it's because of how you're programming reality, what you're saying. It makes no sense that, and so the brain is going to continue to give you evidence that it makes no sense that. But if we flip it and we say, it makes sense that I am not thriving because, even if you don't know what the answer is yet, it makes sense that I'm not thriving because, then see what flows into your mind. And that answer that flows into your mind is the thing that you need to fix. It is the log in the dam. Is that a correct analogy? Cog in a wheel. There you go. Woo, that was a good one. Challenging because we have to fully lean in and embrace all of our shadow. Right? But I don't know if you're like me. I love seeing areas where I'm effing it up. Like I get excited once I finally see it because then I shift it and change it because I'm a winner, y'all. And that's how I work. You are too. Growth mindset. Most days. Some days I bitch and moan and complain a little bit still. Probably like some of you do. Okay. All right. So we got some good information rolling in. Tony Money writes, hey, Emily, long time no see. I would love to have a message from my guides about how I can move into my house. Tony. Okay. Let's tap in and get a message for Tony when you can move into the house. Okay. It feels like there are things that are still settling in the etheric realm. And it feels specifically around ley lines that are connected to a tribal lineage in this area. I do feel like there's some work you could do to assist to help clear those ley lines. Okay. And now I feel like a strain of intelligence coming in right now that's going to talk about ley lines and those of you doing grid work on the planet. Who's doing grid work on the planet and you know that you're doing grid work? That can look like working with rivers, streams, actual ley lines. I just realized I forgot to put in my earbuds. I'm like, where are my earrings? Oh yeah, I don't normally wear earrings because I have earbuds. Oh wait, where are my earbuds? They're right here. I'm just gonna keep rolling. Katie, good. Yeah, I feel like we've probably got quite a few earth weavers, earth light weavers out there. All right. So let's see what the joy. Yes. Okay, cool. Let's see what the guides want to talk about. Okay. So it's really important right now, if you are a grid worker on this planet and you identify yourself as a grid worker, it's very important that you do your work right now. It's also important that all of us participate. So it's like you need to enroll us as your volunteers for a bit, because there are so many ley lines that are coming back activated. They're coming online again on the planet right now. You might call these dragon lines. And with the upcoming eclipse season, and then this Lionsgate experience that we'll move into in August, where we align to Sirius, the earth is coming alive. All right, so for those of you who are grid workers, do your work. Do it at a high level. Play. Okay? Reach out if you feel like you do this for a business, by the way, and your business is struggling. It needs to not be struggling. You are definitely in a part of a wave of how energy is moving on the planet, where you have very specialized skills that are very desired on the planet right now. So for those of you who are light workers, wisdom keepers, what is a grid worker, Colleen? Grid workers are people, those souls who work specifically with the ley lines of the planet. That generally looks like, no, actually it's not generally in the ground. Some of it's in the ground and then some of it's around the planet. All right, so ley lines, dragon lines are what they're generally called when they're terrestrial or in the planet. When they're wrapped around our planet, we often refer to that as the Christic consciousness grid. Okay. All right, so for those of you who aren't grid workers and we're just signing up as volunteers, Lizanne is here. Beautiful sister and somebody on this planet who shares a really unique experience of being a professional actress. Do we have any other professional actors or actresses out there in the any other thespians? I know I've got Peter and Shannon, and I got kind of a lot of you sometimes that come in here. But here would be the Hollywood metaphor, is that the rest of us who aren't the grid workers, we need to be your extras. We're the background actors right now. We're not actually saying anything on camera. We don't actually have any good lines, but we still need to be doing the work. Okay. So for those of you who are not grid workers and you don't have a specialized way in mind that you are working with the grids right now, or that you want to work with the grids, simply as you are walking about the planet, recognize that there's an illumination that's moving through your body. It's almost like we're leaving footprints behind, or everywhere we walk is illuminating. Hey, there's Peter. Illuminating the grids, and that we are helping and participating in this mission. Okay. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. All right, so the guides want to bring through an activation in the soles of our feet. This is interesting. I don't think I've ever done an activation in the soles of the feet. I'm not 100% sure all of what this one does. Brand new. I do definitely feel the symbolic connection to access to our soul and our soul mission, and moving our mission forward, and how we assist each other's mission as well along the way. So just feel that opening. Send all of the consciousness down into the soles of your feet now. See if you can also notice all four corners of your feet on the floor simultaneously, as this portal in the soles of the feet is opening up, receiving energy from Mother Earth, activating, activating, activating. There's a spiraling nature to this vortex. See if you can notice what direction it's spiraling. Cool. Okay, I see Robert could use some grounding. All right, so I'm actually also hearing, Robert, this is going to help tremendously with grounding. So for those of you who feel like you need grounding, it's going to help us feel much more connected to the earth and to this incarnation, which is very important during this time. We're moving through a space galactically where there are so many photons of light and so much energy that we're taking in. We can become unhinged really easily. And that can look like feeling a little wonky and off in your physical body, or in your spirit body, in your light body. And it can also look like feeling off in your emotions and your thoughts, in your sleep. Sometimes it gets so 3D, like off in our emotions or thoughts, that we don't make the connection Oh, I'm actually really ungrounded and I could use some grounding here. Okay, excellent. So powerful, powerful grounding exercise there. All right, so I have a special invitation for y'all. I want to pause and share with you very quickly. Once a year on Lionsgate, which is an alignment to the star system Sirius, it happens in August. The Akashic Academy takes a group of seekers into Mount Shasta for advanced level activation in the vortexes. And there are light codes of intelligence that are being reactivated, released every year. And it is a process that allows you to empower more of your quantum self and make major shifts in your timeline. So this trip truly isn't right for everybody, because when I talk about stepping into your full power and making major shifts in your life, anything that is not in alignment with your highest potentiality and your mission here on the planet begins to vibrate and come up in your field, similar to how I talked about the clearing happens, like the clearing we did before when we called in health, right? When you call in and anchor into the planet, especially during these cosmic active points, you are calling for a timeline shift, a radical timeline shift, and major things shift and change. So for those of you who are interested in joining us, if you're joining me on Instagram, just hang here with me. You're not going to be able to see my shared screen, but you can go to the link in the bio and check out the Shasta experience, the Mount Shasta retreat. If you're joining me here on StreamYard, I'm going to share my screen with you. Oops, should have had it at the right starting point. All right, so here's our Mount Shasta Alchemy Immersion. This is to help you step into your highest potential timeline. It happens August 6th through the 10th. And I'm just going to invite you to come check out this page. It's going to share with you some of the specifics. Some of these ceremonies that you will participate in are ancient ceremonial rituals that are secret and reserved for our experience. But I can tell you some of what happens. All right. One of the cool things that happens, we do CE5, which is Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, and we call in UFO contact. Just a little teaser there for you. Here's how you know if it's right for you. If you're experiencing bleakness and disassociation with life, and you desire inspiration. If you're losing momentum and feeling drained, and you're searching for the key to making your metaphysical experiences stick. If you're feeling overwhelmed, stressed, you know your health is at risk. If you don't claim more spaciousness in your life. If you're hitting roadblocks with your manifestation and you want to align with cosmic forces. If you feel alone and you need support. Okay. All of these things are actually symptoms of a timeline shift that you're being invited into. And it's major. Okay. So here are the next steps if you're interested in the Shasta experience. Find that link. If you're on StreamYard, you can find it at the top of this broadcast, or you can find it right there. I just put it back in. If you're on Instagram, go to the link in the bio. Check it out. Feel into this. It will call you. Shasta will call you if this is going to be an experience that's right for you. If you're noticing that call, your next steps look like filling out the application. This is an application process. So just check it out. And if it feels like what you want to do, apply and we'll talk. All right. All right. We have one more minute. I'm going to dive into one more quick question here. Rosemaria Perez, how do I find out my galactic origin? What I do is I just ask and see what drops in. Although I find that I'm a mutt. I've been all over the place, from the Pleiadian star system to Arcturian to Andromedan to Lyran to Orion. I come across a lot of people who come from Galactic Center. What I do is wherever I'm being drawn to that particular star system, I feel like, okay, I get to learn what attributes are in my starseed DNA that I get to activate that are in alignment with this starseed system. And you'll feel a resonance in your body. Well, I should say you'll feel anything from a resonance to, if I had to guess, I'd say Palladian. Okay. I love you all. Thank you for being here. If this has served you today, be sure to share it out. The more of us that come together in this space and look at life differently, we perceive ourselves differently, the more power we gain, the quicker it happens, and the faster we free ourselves from oppression. All right? I love you guys. See you here next week.